What's up, everyone? This is Destroyer229, and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Last time, we headed back to Realgam Coliseum. We had a lot of training ahead of us, and though we managed to do quite a few things, including catching another rare Pokemon and rescuing Bonsly, we've managed to do quite a lot of training. All of our Pokemon are now level 50. And they are ready for the trial that awaits. In this episode, we're gonna head into that elevator. I always think there's an item right there, but there never is. Greevil awaits right through there. We've come a very long way. And it's time we confront him and put a stop to him. Once and for all. So let's go. Ho ho ho! So, you have even come this far. I had no idea that a mere child like you would pursue me this long. Professor Crane, Data ROMs, and the Lair. You alone derailed every one of our well-laid plans. Well, perhaps not just you. The news broadcast by ONBS did not help Cypher's cause at all. However, my Shadow Pokemon plan isn't finished yet. The final act is about to unfold. Having come this far, I think you've earned the right to know what I've planned. The creation of Shadow Pokemon that permanently resist purification. That was the first step. Next, I plan to create an army of Shadow Pokemon that work independently on my orders alone. When the second step is done, I will take over the world without having to rely on bothersome people. And now, let me introduce you to my faithful servant, the one that shall become the central figure in my Shadow Pokemon army. Come forth, XD001! Codename XD001. Now free of all adjustments, I present to you Shadow Lugia. This Lugia is the first of the Shadow Pokemon that cannot be purified. Now, let us celebrate the completion of my Shadow Pokemon plan in advance. Fall prey to Shadow Lugia. And now we face off against XD001. Shadow Lugia. Seems quite obvious it's a Shadow Pokemon. We wouldn't even need the Aura Reader. Lugia's door to its heart has been closed so tightly that purification will not work on it. It's even changed its own features. It's physically changed. But we must catch it. It is still a Shadow Pokemon. We can't let Greevil have his hands on it. Now, Lugia. Lugia is not a Pokemon to be really trifled with. Its abilities reside in defense, special defense, and speed. It's a very defensive Pokemon, and yet it's also pretty fast on its feet. However, even though its specialties do not lie in its attack stats, still, this thing can pack quite a punch. So, do not underestimate it. It is a legendary Pokemon for a reason. Alright, now, one thing you might be noticing is that, oh crap, Shadow Blast! you might be wondering why I'm not bothering with using my Master Ball. The Master Ball, admittedly, is the perfect... Oh, wow. What was that? The Master Ball is perhaps the perfect tool to use to stop Lugia. However, despite it being... Jeez, I'm having voice cracks all over the place. What the heck is wrong with me? Despite the Master Ball being perhaps the most fitting use for this fight, and believe me, pretty much any other playthrough I've done of this game, I've used my Master Ball to catch Lugia. It's actually best if you don't use your Master Ball for this fight. Believe me, even though it is incredibly fitting, if you're going up with a setup that I'm doing, if you have just regular Pokemon fighting against Greevil, you're going to want to save your Master Ball. You're going to want to do that. Believe me. You want to save your Master Ball for later. So for the meantime, I'm just going to weaken Lugia as much as possible. It's using Shadow Blast a lot. As long as it keeps targeting Darbus, I should be okay. Darbus can take 2 hits before I would need to use a Hyper Potion on her. Okay, I'd rather not have Phantasma attack Lugia, so I'm gonna go... You know what? Let's be stupid for the first one. We'll throw a Pokeball at it, and then Darbus, let's go ahead and use a Body Slam. I want to get Lugia down to the red, but you know what? I have a free turn, so let's go ahead and try to catch it. 1. Ah. It's always a real fun thing to just try to catch legendary Pokemon in stupid Pokeballs. I don't know why, but it is. Okay, Lugia's using Shadow Blast. I'm pretty sure it would be able to... I'm pretty sure Lugia would be able to survive another, Body Slam. So Phantasma, why don't we use your turn to throw an Ultra Ball at it? Let's try to catch this thing legit. And then Darbus... Let's see. Let's use Brick Break. Brick Break would probably deal less damage because Lugia would resist it. It's Flying Psychic. So it should resist Brick Break very easily. 1. Ugh. Not even a 1. Still, at the very least, this should be able to deal... Yeah, not very effective. That didn't do a whole lot. In fact, I could probably... Oh, thank goodness. That allows Phantasma to recover a bit of HP. Okay, so Phantasma. Let's throw another Ultra Ball at it. And then Darbus, let's use Brick Break. I want to lower Lugia's HP down as much as possible. Even though it's in the red, it's not something that can be easily caught. Oh, right when I say it. Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. Damn it. Aw, man. Whatever, we've almost got it. It had 3 shakes right there. And it's paralyzed again. Good. Okay. So Phantasma, we'll go ahead. We'll try... You know what? Let's go with the Ultra Ball. Darbus, Brick Break. This will probably be the last Brick Break before I just stop attacking Lugia. But hopefully this catches it. 1, 2, 3. Yes! Haha! We snagged Lugia! And we've defeated Greevil. Lugia! How dare you, child? How dare you snag my Shadow Lugia? My one loyal subject. There's nothing left. But I will personally see to the total destruction of your Pokemon. Fall. And now we fight Grandmaster Greevil. For real this time. So Greevil is going to start off with Rhydon and Moltres. The thing with Greevil Greevil is a dirty, stinking cheater. Because not only is Rhydon a shadow Pokemon, but Moltres is as well. In fact, all of his Pokemon are shadow Pokemon. What makes him a cheat is the fact that he uses 7 Pokemon. Granted, he used Lugia by itself, but nonetheless, he has a full party of 6, all with shadow Pokemon. But we'll beat you. We'll beat you at your own game, Greevil. Okay, let's go ahead. I don't want Klaus because, that's freaking Rhydon. Yeah, we'll switch Nanami out. Darbus will use your turn to use Fake Out on Moltres. This is going to be a really tough fight. But this is what all that training's come down to. So, first off, Rhydon. Rhydon is an extremely powerful Pokemon. It has very high HP, attack, and defense stats. This thing does not mess around. Its other stats are really lackluster, but you know what? For whatever it is good at, it excels extremely well. His second shadow Pokemon, Moltres, the legendary fire bird. Moltres has some very interesting characteristics. Each of the legendary birds has something that it excels at. With Moltres, it excels at special attack and attack. So any sort of attacks at all that you can give to this thing will do a very good amount of damage. That's not to say that its other stats are terrible, not in the slightest. It's actually pretty decent at them. But they're not going to excel anywhere near as much as its offensive capabilities. Now, I'm gonna say this right now. As you saw, I feinted Rhydon without a second thought. This is a fight that I don't intend to snag his Pokemon. If the opportunity presents itself, I will try to snag his Pokemon. But at this point, I just want to defeat him. If I can defeat him, that proves just how powerful our bonds are with our Pokemon, that they can beat anything Greevil has to offer. Now his next shadow Pokemon, Exeggutor. Exeggutor is fair to say that it is his least powerful Pokemon. It's only really good at special attack, and though it does its job pretty well in that regard, its other stats are just flat out terrible. I mean, especially like its special defense and its speed. Any good fire attack will take this thing out no problem. But of course, in this bunch of Pokemon, just being the least powerful still does not mean that it's something that you can let your guard down. His next shadow Pokemon, Tauros. Tauros has very good attack, speed, and defense. This thing can be pretty devastating, but admittedly, it doesn't have that great special attack. Granted, I really doubt you'd really want to teach a Tauros a special attacking move, but you know what? It's still really powerful, and you should, like all of his Pokemon, you need to keep your guard up. Otherwise, it can take you down very quickly. Okay, Nanami, let's go and use Ice Beam on Tauros. Olivia, we have an opportunity. That Exeggutor has next to 0 health. Let's try our best to snag it. It may be the weakest, but it's still a shadow Pokemon. We still gotta catch it. In fact, if we can catch it, all the better. 1. Oh! Damn! Okay, Shadow Sky. Well, that's not too bad. Okay, if I could get Klaus out, that'd be great. If I could freeze that Tauros, that'd be stupendous. Ah, crap. Is this thing just going to feign itself using Shadow End? No, it's still good. It has like 1 HP left. Klaus, let's get you out here. Okay. Now, how exactly am I gonna do this? I want to catch Exeggutor. I really want to catch Exeggutor, just because it's pretty much a perfect spot. Okay, Klaus, let's use Thunder Wave on Exeggutor. Olivia, we're gonna try the Ultra Ball again. I'm gonna catch this thing. It's just so perfect. It's just begging to be snagged. Come on, Exeggutor. 1, 2, 3. Yes! Alright, we at least snagged one of his Pokemon. His next Pokemon, Articuno. So yeah, he snagged not 1, but 2 of the legendary birds of Kanto. Articuno. Out of the 3 legendary birds, Articuno is by far the most defensive. Its skills heavily center around defense and special defense. Similar to Moltres, that doesn't mean that its other stats are terrible, not in the slightest. But it is extremely defensive, and it can take a beating. Okay, that Tauros is going to cause me a lot of problems if I don't do something about it. Thankfully, I've paralyzed Articuno. So I've got that going for me. Klaus. I'd rather not have 2 of these things, and I'm starting to run low on Pokemon. So Klaus, let's go and use Thunderbolt on Tauros. And Tasma, we're gonna use your turn to revive. Let's revive Darbus. Okay, with any luck, we might be able to catch Tauros. Yeah, I didn't think so. Well, whatever. That's not a huge loss. At the very least, Klaus levels up. Alright, we're doing alright in this. And his final Pokemon, Zapdos. The 3rd of the legendary trio of Kanto. And his final Shadow Pokemon. Zapdos, as you would expect, has incredibly good speed and special attack, like any good electric type does. That is to say that its other that's not to say that its other stats aren't as bad. Similar to the other legendary birds, its stats are actually pretty good. Pretty much evenly spread out between the rest of it. But man, is this thing a force to be reckoned with. It is by far his most powerful Pokemon. You do not want to mess with this Zapdos. Okay, so what I want to do, this is why I saved the Master Ball. Zapdos is by far Greevil's biggest threat. If you need to use your Master Ball on anything that isn't Shadow Lugia, it's Zapdos. Zapdos is incredibly quick and incredibly powerful. In my practice run, I could not beat Greevil because of Zapdos. And I used up my Master Ball as well in that practice run. So this time, I've learned from my mistake. And we are catching that Zapdos. Master Ball, go! One, 2, 3. Now, another thing that I should mention is the fact that each of the legendary birds has their own unique shadow move. You notice that Articuno used a move called Shadow Chill, a move that we have not seen with any shadow Pokemon. This is something that each of the legendary birds has that's unique to them. Articuno has Shadow Chill. Zapdos has Shadow... I want to say Shadow Bolt. And then Moltres has Shadow Blast, or Shadow Flame, or something of that nature. Well, actually, no. Lugia had Shadow Blast. So I'm guessing... I think Moltres is Shadow Flame. However, he's down to his final Shadow Pokemon, Articuno. Now, Articuno is not that difficult to try to catch. However, I will try my best. Since it's his last Shadow Pokemon, it shouldn't be that difficult to try to catch Articuno. So we've already snagged 2 of his Shadow Pokemon. I wouldn't mind snagging a 3rd. Now the reason why another reason why I'm not really feeling bad about fainting these Shadow Pokemon is the fact that these Pokemon don't go away. That gets a little bit into post-game. But, if you defeat Greevil, you keep all the Shadow Pokemon you snag, but he'll still be here for post-game in order for you to re-snag the other Shadow Pokemon. So, yeah, they don't go away from Mirror B. You have to fight Greevil to catch any of these Pokemon. Alright, so, Klaus, we're gonna go ahead and use the Ultra Ball. Darbus, we're gonna use Body Slam. Articuno is another defensive Pokemon, so it should be able to take a Body Slam. Unfortunately, it's part Ice, so Brick Break would not be a good move to try on this thing. 2, 3... Yes, and I didn't even need it! Ha ha ha! Sweet! We did it! We defeated Greevil. We snagged half of his Shadow Pokemon. We snagged Exeggutor, Zapdos, and Articuno. And we've stopped the Shadow Pokemon plan. We did it, guys. Gah! How? A mere child crushed my cherished plan. What? This can't be. Grr. It's your fault. I won't forgive. There is no forgiving you. Grandmaster, we're done here. We should blow up Citadark Isle with the child still on it. But if I did that, our Shadow Pokemon data and our subordinates would be lost as well. Grandmaster, such things can be replaced. We must ensure our own survival. I've readied a helicopter for our escape. We've got to leave now. Yeah, you're right. Wait! Please, wait. You're willing to sacrifice everyone so you can escape? You should be ashamed. Ashamed? Clinging to foolish pride will guarantee Cypher's demise. Cypher must survive. That is our first duty. The Grand Master feels the same way. Yes. For Cypher's sake, sacrifices must be endured. What are you saying? The Shadow Pokemon Factory's been destroyed. XD001 was defeated. Nothing remains of Cypher. Silence! Cypher will live forever. If only this child hadn't. Grandmaster, please give the order to blow up Citadark Isle. Yes. It can't be helped. Don't begrudge us, child. Stop. Let's put a stop to this, Father. Don't call him Father. Call him the Grand Master. Father, you've lost sight of what is important. You got carried away by this whole Grand Master nonsense. It isn't possible to take over the world by producing powerful Pokemon. Just think of this child. This child's pure heart won out over XD001. We were in the wrong. Silence! 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 Why aren't you showing some spine? We've come so far! Cypher is finished. Father, you yourself should know that more than anyone. Oh. Now please, stand up. This is how it should be. The laws of the land will render judgment on what we have done. Oh, everything I did, all of it was a mistake. Thanks to your courage, we were finally able to wake from our nightmare. Thank you. You have nothing to fear from us, ever. You should return home to your family. Let us meet again, too. The next time we battle, it won't be as mortal enemies. I will look forward to it. As do I, Eldest. As do I. That, the raging storms have stopped. Cypher is at an end. We've done it. We've stopped Cypher's plot once and for all. All of War is rejoicing. And yet, I'd say it's time we head home. Got a lot of stories to tell Jovi. And Lily's been worried sick. And with all of our friends together, we couldn't have done it without them. Let's go ahead and save. And this has been Let's Play Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. I've gotta say, it's always a pleasure to play Pokemon. Pokemon is one of my absolute favorite series. It's probably the series that I've been completely attached to that got me into video games. So I'm always really excited whenever I just sit down to play these games. And Colosseum and Gale of Darkness are by far the two Pokemon games that I've replayed the most out of any Pokemon game. Mostly because I'm not exactly limited to one save file due to spare memory cards. But it's still fun to play these games. Granted, Gale of Darkness did a lot of things right, and did quite a few things wrong, I will admit. It is nice that there are a lot more Shadow Pokemon this time around, and this time, whereas whereas Colosseum focused a lot on 2nd gen Pokemon, Gale of Darkness, jeez, I'm getting these two games mixed up. Gale of Darkness focused a lot more on 1st gen Pokemon. Now, really, the biggest thing that I thought that Gale of Darkness did as a huge step backwards was somewhat the storytelling, to be quite honest. I will admit that Gale of Darkness has a much better story than Colosseum, but just the overall atmosphere of Colosseum, it was an entirely different take of Pokemon, and I just absolutely love that about that game. This game feels a lot more like your typical Pokemon adventure. It feels a lot more like you're a budding trainer, except you're only focused against the organization, rather than just going out and catching Pokemon and getting gym badges. So, that was kind of the big setback for me. It was mostly in the storytelling. But I mean, I always have fun whenever I play these games. I really like the team that I developed, even with some last minute changes. I mean, this team worked extremely well. I'm really happy about this sort of team. Oh, what else was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else, and now I've kind of lost my train of thought. It is nice that I was finally able to play this game. I mean, as any of you would know, Colosseum was my very first Let's Play, so to do the sequel, I mean, I've just been wanting to do this game for quite a while, and I'm glad that I finally had the chance to do it. I've really enjoyed this game, and we're not quite done yet, actually. We've stopped Cypher, but there's still a bit more that we need to accomplish. So until next time, everyone, take care.